Well, Phil, first of all, is it a nice change talking about a cup match rather than a league encounter?
Yeah, well, listen, we've worked very hard to get to this stage, and in my time here, that we've always understood the tradition of the club in the FA Cup and played with a clear kind of understanding of that, what we're representing, and we've got to this stage, some really tough games. And what a great opportunity for us to go to Ewood Park with 7,000 fans behind us. And after the Shrewsbury game, we were talking on the way back about what draw we would like. And obviously, we were saying it'd be great to get a home draw. But I mentioned to my son about Blackburn away. I said, because the great thing about Blackburn, I know we'll get 7,000 tickets because they've done that a few times in the Championship. And what a great occasion that would be for our players and our supporters to be part of that. So yeah, it's a game to really look forward to, and we've done the FA Cup before. It's about going there and giving a good account of ourselves.
At the moment, Phil, it's going to be more like a home game than an away game because 7,000, was it 5,000 home tickets so far?
Yeah, I think obviously Blackburn you can pay on the night, can't you? So they're expecting a lot of walk-up fans to come. So I'm not sure how that balance will be, but listen, I think from our point of view, when the game got moved to Monday, I think that's going to knock our support because it's a lot harder. Obviously, Monday night, work commitments, kids at school the next day. But an outstanding kind of achievement from our supporters to sell that many tickets. And as up and down the country, Tuesday nights away, we've sold out time and time again. And this is a night for our supporters to go and really enjoy. We know the league is kind of our priority, but everybody's is in the same position. But let's really focus on Monday and enjoying everything which is about what Wrexham Football Club's about. And our aim as a team is to go there and give a really good account of ourselves, knowing that to create a cup upset, we've got to run harder, we've got to run further, we've got to tackle stronger, we've got to pass it more crisply, we've got to do everything in our game that little bit better to give ourselves a chance of being in the hat come Monday night.
And is it fair to say, again, for a long while, the pressure is not on Wrexham, it's on Blackburn?
Without doubt, we're going there and 2 divisions below a team which I'd imagine at the start of the season were hoping to be in and around the playoffs. They still will be hoping they can get on a good run in the second part of the season. And we go there with that mentality. We really haven't got nothing to lose. The only thing we want to make sure that come the end of the game, our supporters have seen a true Wrexham performance, and the supporters who came across to Bramall Lane last year, and that's an incredible night really, because we'd come so close in the home game, and then going to Bramall Lane, everyone thought our chance was gone. And of course we ended up going out, but the manner, the way the lads played on that night and the support we had was an occasion to remember. And like I've said quite a few times, the way that the lads handled the stage, certainly for me, when the pressure games came at the end of the season, they took it in the stride and they implemented the game plan we set out on the training ground really well in those key league games, Notts County and Bournemouth in particular.
I think there's just over a week, Phil, before the transfer window closes, but good news on one front with Arthur Okonkwo. Yeah, the deadline for Arthur to be called back was the 21st, and that's now passed, so that's a massive signing for us to keep Arthur. He's been exceptional for us, he really has. He's a great lad, he's bought into everything the club's about, he's moved up here, he's really been a great lad to have around, but not just that, he's a terrific goalkeeper for us. And of course, when someone plays well, you always worry that he's caught the eye of other teams. But yeah, I was very pleased when the clock struck 12. How much dialect have you had with Arsenal over the last few months and certainly the last few weeks until?
Yeah, I mean, I speak to the loans manager, and Arsenal have been brilliant with us. They really have. Aidan Davison is in constant touch with the goalkeeping coach down there. And they're very interested in Arthur's progress, and they know we're looking after him well. And it's a great stage for Arthur to play on. The expectancy of everything here at Wrexham, playing in front of packed houses every week, and so they understand this is a great place for him to be. And in the transfer window, everybody looks at who we're going to bring in and what signings we're going to make. But with Elliot Lee and Paul Mullen have signed new contracts. We've kept Arthur. That's a good window. That's a very good window so far for us. If we do make an addition or two, that would be a bonus. But sometimes you get the windows. Just make sure that you keep what you've got.
Are you still working on trying possibly to bring a few players in? Yeah,
possibly if the right player comes and the valuation we have on players is in line with what clubs want, then there's that possibility. But like I said before, we've kind of got through the first half of the season. We've had players out injured who are now coming back. Obviously, we have had a few problems prior to the Newport game, but hopefully none of those are too long. And we've got players we've got more to give in this second part of the season.
And finally, from me, Phil, how important is the FA Cup to you personally?
Very much so. I think someone of my age who's brought up on the FA Cup and looking forward to FA Cup final day on a Saturday when there wasn't a lot of live TV in that era, and the FA Cup's always been special, and there's not been one time in my managerial career where a cup run hasn't benefited us in league form. And of course those league games got to be fitted in along the way, but equally the profile of the club of Wrexham is very important that we keep performing in the FA Cup like we've done.
Last season, Phil, these Coventry were going well and Sheffield United were on their way to the Premier League. This year Blackburn are struggling. There's probably a lot more pressure on them and feeling it than the other two teams I just mentioned because of the run they've been on in the league.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. I think we've also got to remember that how hard we fought in those games, how well we played. We didn't just turn up and say, can't turn up on Monday, so Blackburn have not been doing so well, and we're in the top three. We should do all right today. We've got to really earn it on Monday because these are a good side. They've got some really good technical players. They score a lot of goals, they're open, they concede chances, but they're a very good side, and we're going to have to be right at the top of our game and go there, and like we've done before in the FA Cup, go there and we're going to have a real go. That's what FA Cup football is all about. That's the way we play. We've got to make sure that we're really ready to give everything we've got to put Blackburn under pressure. We're not going there to sit back and soak up pressure and try and nick a goal on the break. We're going there to make it, to play like an FA Cup side and really be on that front foot, which when we are, that's when we're at our best.
Yeah, regardless of where they are in their division, you've still got they are two divisions higher, aren't they?
Exactly, they've got some young players there caught a lot of interest from not just Premiership clubs, top Premiership clubs. So we're aware of that. They've got a very good manager. They're developing some good players there. They've sold a few players along the way, but of course, absolute respect for them. And we've got to go there with that underdog mentality like we've taken with us before.
Just regarding players, you went to the reserve game yesterday. Aaron, the two centre backs, Aaron and Jordan. Obviously, you mentioned that they were making a comeback. Everything go okay?
Yeah, got through it well. It was a really good game, difficult conditions, but a good workout for everybody. And Tony and Aaron both played 60 minutes, which is good progression for those two.
And just to end from me, Phil, you've taken the cup seriously. There's a few injuries, but whatever side you pick, it'll be a strong side.
Yeah, of course you can't pick injured players. We'll pick the best team available to us on the day, like we've done before. There's, of course, if there was someone who was a risk, we wouldn't take that because we know what's coming in the league. A very busy schedule ahead of this. But the players available to us will be thinking long and hard and picking the team we feel is the best one to put in a good performance.
Thanks, Phil.
Phil, you obviously beat Coventry away last year in the cup and competed with Sheffield United. Do you think there's a real belief in the squad now that they can compete with the championship teams, maybe on a regular basis?
Yeah, well, I think evidence suggests we have done that, but it's my job now to remind the lads what we need to replicate and make sure the fact that the narrative is out there. We've done that. Yeah, we have, but we're going to be reminding the players how we beat Coventry. What we did against Sheffield United. The manner of those performances, and our aim Monday is to play with that spirit
and quality. I think that's really important, because if you go to teams above you in the league and you give them the ball back all the time, their creative players will eventually make something happen. We've got to go there with belief that we've got good footballers who can pass the ball and have periods of possession. So everything's got to be aligned to create a cup upset, and we'll be giving it everything.
And some of these players have played at a high level before. Do you think there's a case within the squad of them wanting to prove themselves, kind of, that they're still able to perform at kind of Championship League on that?
Yeah, I think so. Without doubt, I think there's players in the team who've been there and come back to this level. I wouldn't say they've dropped to this level because of nobody else wanted them at a high level. They've come on board to this club to be part of this story. But of course, there's always a burning desire in the players like an Elliot Lee, who said, I can live in this company, and I'm sure he'll show that on Monday.
In your career, you've been somewhat of a cup expert, wins with Bradford, taking them to the League Cup final, beating Chelsea. Do you think there's a particular reason for that, or is it just you being a wonderful manager?
I think it's instilling belief in the group. That's the key. So the belief, but the understanding that the belief has got to be in conjunction with the underdog fighting spirit as well, because when you go to Chelsea, of course they've got higher calibre of players. We know that. To beat those players, we've got to be ready to ruffle the feathers of the opposition. And so instilling the belief, setting a game plan out, and getting a buy-in from the group to stick to that game plan. And Monday will be no different. For us to win the game, we've started the preparation today in how we feel Blackburn will play and what we need to do well against them. And that's really exciting for myself and Steve and Dave Jones and Aidan Davis, the management team, to set ourselves out against this better opposition, a higher class of manager who's played at the top level. Can we set a game plan up to give Blackburn as many problems as possible on the night?
And how do you think you've grown personally as a manager over the last kind of decade? That's
Good question.
bit of a job.
I'd like to say I'm calm, but probably not. I think I've probably learned to enjoy the job a lot more. Because sometimes, certainly when you start managing, it's an absolute whirlwind. You can't believe how all-encompassing managing is. It really does take over your life. It's non-stop, and sometimes I think you're in every single day. When I was at Colchester, I never had a day off. But as I've grown more experience, I've learned you have to have those days away where you have time to reflect and let decisions come to you more. I think that's probably the biggest aspect.
And this is definitely a job interview question, but where do you see yourself and this football club in 5 years' time?
It's a good question. Where do I see the club? Obviously we're ambitious to progress. We've got an opportunity this season to be part of the promotion race. We kind of set out to get to January in a challenging position. We've done that. So of course we're just looking at the second part of the season. The club itself is developing in a lot of areas. The new stand coming up, training facilities, etc. There's a lot of work commercially going on in the background, and I'm enjoying being a part of that, and hopefully it continues.